Hey guys, welcome back. I just went downstairs and picked up my package, which is the 3 structure decks. We're going to go into the opening and talk a little bit about it and some deck options and I guess some decks that I want to play the branded engine in. But I'm pretty excited for this, so let's go ahead on and dig on in. All right, I saved the box opening for you guys just in case that's something you enjoyed. I have not gone out to Target yet to see if they have any in stock. I'm thinking about waiting until tomorrow because I feel like my Target in particular is always a little late with putting stuff out. And we'll just see how that goes. Alrighty. Seems to be packed pretty nicely. I also do want to mention as well, I usually wouldn't do this unless I'm really excited about the seller, but the seller, if you can't see it, is a Wasteland Gaming from Duluth, Georgia. Shout out to them. I ordered these structure decks Wednesday night at like 9 p.m. and it came in today, it's now Friday, and it came in at like 2:30 p.m. That's freaking service right there. Put the scissors away. We'll go ahead and get into this first structure deck. I think really my only complaint with this structure deck is I really wish they would have done the tokens as super rares. I think that would have just took it to the next level, but I'm really not going to complain because this is probably the best structure deck they've released since I've been playing the game, like actively released. There are better structure decks, possibly, but not while I've been in the game. Soul Burner was pretty good. I guess let's just lay them out first, one by one. Like that's the best way to do it. Not really worried about the mat, just because I'm not the biggest fan of the plastic mats, but it does come with a paper mat if that's something you like. Probably wouldn't be too bad if you had like a glass countertop table to slide it underneath, but I prefer like the mouse pad type mats. I think that's everything card-wise. Go ahead and try to open these up. I'm pretty terrible about opening structure decks. They're kind of not the easiest thing to open. But let's see. Actually, they did start giving a little thumb thing piece here, which is pretty nice. Oh yeah, that was easy. They definitely did not do that before. I've like spent like 5 to 10 minutes on some structure decks trying to get them open. I'm not going to do a deck profile for a 3x structure deck today because I do need to test it out and see, but that could possibly be coming soon. I don't know that it's really the best deck to play as a 3x. It definitely has some really good cards for that. But it's just it's a little weird. Like it just feels like it needs something besides just doing a 3x structure deck. And some of these cards have some pretty good wear and tear on them already. That's not good. If you want to see what I mean, let's take a look at this first card here. As you can see, that's pretty bad. Hopefully that's the only issue. But we can start going through for our foils, we have Tri-Brigade Mercury. We have Springen's Kit. This is one of my favorite cards actually in this set. It's actually just really good. The ultra rares seem like okay quality. It's not the best I've seen. The Golden Sword Soul. Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. This card's actually really relevant. Branded Fusion, definitely the best card in the deck. Just put like main deck cards up here. Branded Sword and Branded Retribution. For the commons, we have a Fallen of Ablaz. We have Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. This card's actually really good. I would pick up the super rare because they're really cheap and they look nice. Dogmatic of Fleur de Lis, which is really good. I'm going to move these over a little bit so I can get a little bit more room. You can pick up these ultra rares, by the way, Fleur de Lis for really cheap. One Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. One Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju. One Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. Actually, if you're playing a 3X structure deck, it is pretty nice to have like the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon and Legionnaire. Like I feel like you probably could play a decent Chaos build of this. One Radiant. Really good to have a reprint of this. These were going for a couple of dollars. Artifact Scythe. Don't really know how they expect you to utilize this in this deck without like going outside of the structure deck, but I guess it's cool that it's in here. One White Dragon Wyvern Burster and one Black Dragon Gold Serpent. Really good. One Starleech Seaford, one of the best Dragon Link reprints in this set. This actually does have, you know, quite a few Dragon Link cards in here that are decent. One Keeper Dragon Magic, one Summoner Monk, and then getting into some of the better cards here, we got Ghost Ogre and Effect Veiler, just two really good hand traps that they can put in a set. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I saw two really good hand traps in the structure deck. Oni Dragon Brotar, really good Dragon Link card. Branded Lost, branded in white, branded Bond. I'm gonna have to start moving down here. Fusion Gate, Fusion Recycling Plant. This card's actually decent if you're wanting to, if you're playing like Guardian Chimera, if you wanted to use this instead of like the whole Frightfur Patchwork build, but I think the Frightfur Patchwork build's better for that. One Fusion Substitute, one Gold Sark, the card I've really been waiting for, Pot of Extravagance. So glad to finally be getting a playset. One Called by the Grave, one Dark Ruler. That's just insane to get these three cards in one set. It screams of the Branded. Sorry, I'm gonna have to throw this everywhere, but there's a lot of cards. Judgment of the Branded, Necrofusion, Back to the Front, Warning Point, which is actually a really good, really good trap. There can only be one dimensional barrier, one way from the dragon. This is just insane to me. Like all these like really good staples in this set. It's almost like having a dual Devastator as a structure deck. One Titaniclad, move these over a little bit. One Brigand the Glory Dragon, one Sprin the Iron Dash Dragon, one Albion, which is I think the best branded card, in my opinion. It's for extra deck at least. And then for the tokens, we have one Ablaz the Shrouded, one Ecclesia the Exiled, one Tri-Brigade. I actually really like this one. The Virtuous Vestals. So a little bit so you can see the artwork. And one Alibur the Dogmatic. This is definitely the coolest one, I think. Really cool to start getting tokens in these. I don't really know if this deck can generate tokens, though, to be honest with you. That is going to wrap it off for the structure deck as far as the card list goes. I'm going to sleeve up some of the cards in here. No, I take that back. I feel like you could do a decent 3x deck profile with this. We're gonna try it out. And then I guess maybe if I end up doing, which I probably will, do like a 3x structure deck, I will probably have a way to play it just pure 3x, no additional cards, and then I'll probably have a way where like you can spice it up for like $20 or something. So I feel like one change I can think of right away is playing super poly and playing like a couple super poly targets, like maybe Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Starving Venom Dragon. I just feel like that would really boost this deck quite a bit from just being fresh out of a structure deck. Alright, so we're going to sleeve up these ultra rares that I care about at least, which is going to be Libellion, Mirror Jade. I'm not going to play in the deck that I'm currently playing, but it is a decent card. And if when I'm doing the 3x, we will be playing with this. But I'm also going to sleeve up Springen's Kit. Because when I actually do, I guess I do need to order some. I'm just limited on sleeves right now that I have. But I will eventually be playing like a branded Despia deck, but it is not going to be until Ghost from the Past comes out, because I just really am not going to spend, the $120 that Ablaz is at right now. Trying to grab this without damaging it. I guess we just move these over. I was just gonna order like instead of getting the structure decks, I was just gonna order like the branded fusions, the Spriggan's Kit, the Pot of Extravagances, and what else was I gonna order? Oh, the Libellion and the Albions. But when I went to add them up, it was gonna be like $35. So at that point, I'm like, I might as well just spend the extra $10 and get the structure decks and get all my generic like hand traps and other things that I need. So I don't think that this is the set that's worth ordering singles, because the singles are actually add up to more than what the structure deck comes out to by like quite a bit. Like just the chase cards, like branded fusions, like $4 or $5. Pot of Extravagance is like $2 or $3. Dark Rulers like $2 or $3. Like everything is just money in this set. I can already tell you this is going to be a huge file by the time, like this video is going to be a huge file by the time I'm done recording. So it's probably going to take me a while to get this up tonight, but that's okay. If you want my opinion on whether you should buy the structure deck at the $14 to $15 mark, I think yes, absolutely. Because it's just, it might go down to 13, but to be honest with you, it's just not really worth risking. It's just better off, you're better off to get it. And I think even like I would just go ahead and get your 3 copies of the structure deck. If it goes down, then buy more. Let's see, I don't really know what these do, so I'm going to actually read these. So branded retribution: when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons monster, return to the extra deck 1 face up fusion monster you control, or 2 fusion monsters in your graveyard that mention fallen Ablaz as material, and if you do, negate that activation. Pretty good, honestly, not too bad. Banish any number of branded spell traps from your graveyard, special summon that many Ice Blade, tokens, level 8, 2500 attack, 2500 defense. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished monsters that is Fallen of Ablaz or mentions it. Add that monster to your hand. Pretty good. If you're doing a 3x structure deck, really good. Both of these are pretty good, but I wouldn't play this in the actual like competitive build. But that's okay. It doesn't always have to be competitive. Tri-Brigade Mercurier: when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Ablaz material, you can send this card from your hand or face up to the graveyard and negate that effect. So it's a Tri-Brigade hand trap? That's crazy. But it says Tri-Brigade, but to be honest with you, this isn't going to really mix well with Tri-Brigade. I mean, you probably could mix it somehow, But you can just play this in this deck, honestly, as a hand trap, and it's pretty good. I'm going to sleeve these up, even though this one's damaged, unfortunately. It's not damaged. I would still call this like late mod play, probably. It's pretty sad, though. Their quality control has really gone down over the last couple of years. I want to sleeve these up. I need to order like a good amount of sleeves because I want to go ahead and like get these sleeved up so I can play the deck. I only have enough sleeves for like the more important cards. I'm gonna try to sleeve up the ultra rares though. Brand new sleeves feel really good. I'm gonna get the cards out that I want to sleeve up in here. The Golden Sword Soul. Don't think it's a very good card, honestly. Rebellion, Brand of Fusion. These don't really matter, except for the Pot of Extravagance. Really good staples in here, though. Like if you need your Called by the Grave and all of that stuff, I would highly recommend picking these up. Oof. This token took a hit on the, if you can see. No, this is like one of the times I need the glare to work for me. See that edge there? It's just peeled up. That's terrible. Yep. All right, we're going to sort this one as well. Mirror Jade, Rebellion. Rebellion is a good card. These are like Rebellion and Albion are kind of similar. This, instead of banishes, shuffles back. So, I mean, technically you could go into like 2 Dragoons, honestly, in one turn if you timed everything perfectly and you had a good hand. Extravagance. It's always nice to have another set of Dark Rulers too. Let's see how these fared up. Yep, same issue. You can see here. See that same exact issue. The quality control is just not very good, which is really, really sad. Because I honestly think that these probably will be worth something one day, to be honest with you. But not in that condition, it won't. But that just makes the near mint ones worth a little bit more. I did notice that too when I was like trying to buy these singles, is like people had some listed as like mod and heavy play. I'm like, how in the world could it already be mod and heavy play? Like, I'm like, unless they had like they opened it up and dropped it or something, I don't know. But now I get it. There's just really bad print quality. Some of these edges are just whack too on the back of these cards. Let's see if you can see that or not. This is the edges kind of like folded over a little bit. Like it's like if you pull your hand across it, you can feel the rays of the card being kind of smushed up on the sides. So yeah, I mean, these are light play at best, but they're still legal, and that's all I really care about. If they end up like reprinting these, and this probably won't be this year's tins, but I guess next year's tins, it'd be cool to get Branded Fusion as like a prismatic secret rare. The extravagances look okay. They're a little shielded, being more towards the center of the deck. They do kind of have the edge issue too, where it's a little bit raised on the backside. Golden Sword Soul. What does this card do? I'll just put it to rest. When a monster declares attacking, especially summon this card from your hand, and then if you do, negate that attack. This card is terrible. Just awful. I hate attack effects. I remember when I first saw that they were putting an ultra rare Sword Soul card in here, I was like, please be like a good Sword Soul card, because I do want to build Sword Souls after the 10s. I do kind of almost have most of the cards now. I just don't have Moguets, and I only have one Emergence. But they had a good opportunity to print something decent, and they didn't. Spriggan's Kit, though, they just knocked it out of the park on this card. This card is so good. And Travegate Mercury is like, it's not the best card, but it's definitely interesting. You'll have to tell me what y'all think of these structure decks. All right, I'm not going to sleeve up all the Ice Jades because I'm not going to use that many of them. These I don't need to. Albion for sure. Sleeve up one because I definitely need one. And we'll read Iron Dash too because I don't really know what that does either. I need to start reading all of these so that I can get an idea of how to do a 3x structure deck profile. One fallen with Ablaz plus one effect monster. That was special summon this turn, so that kind of limits you a little bit. During your main phase, you can move this card you control to another one of your main monster zones. Then you can destroy all of the face-up cards in this card's column. Interesting. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Spriggan's monster or Fallen of Ablaz from your deck. Pretty good because you can go into Spriggan's Kit, which you can add one of your branded spells, which is probably going to be your branded fusion. So really, really good. I guess one of the challenges I see with doing a 3x structure deck is like I feel like you can get to some of your power plays, like getting to like your branded fusion to get to Albion, but well, then you don't have like, I don't know, like you're not going to be able to get Dragoon on the field, obviously, because you don't have Dragoon with Albion. I don't really know what targets you have with Albion, because the other thing I would think of would be like getting out your Masquerade, but you obviously won't have a Masquerade in this deck either. Like, and then if you use your Albion to go into like a Rebellion, like what are you going to do at that point? Because then you can fusion summon another monster, but I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be hard with 3x structure deck to get like negates on the field. Seems like there's some interactions, but like your two power plays really with this deck is to try to get to your Dragoon with your Albion and then get into your Masquerade to do burn damage. Like getting double Masquerade on board is just insane. I'm gonna put this back in the structure deck. All right, I got everything that I really want from this deck. So that we're going to set this aside. Sorry about that. I'm not really going to play these probably in my deck. So the deck that I'm going to be playing these in, let me just like kind of sort these. I actually have some deck profiles that I put together online that I'm going to show you too, because I still don't have all the cards to be doing deck profiles really. And some of that's because set limitation, like we just don't have the cards yet. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do first. So I guess what I'll be playing this in is Dynamorphia. And basically what I'll be playing is 3 branded fusion. Look here. Going to be playing 2 Fallen of Ablaz. 1 Desperate Tragedy, or maybe 2. I haven't decided yet. Probably 1, because then I also need to play also need to play the one going blank. Aliber, that's it, yeah. But like I said, I won't be picking up Aliber until it gets reprinted. It's not worth $100+ to me. And then also like the hex sealed fusion to send off a branded fusion to get into Albion. That way I can banish the Albion, the hex sealed fusion and my Fallen of Ablaz. God, I can't speak. To go into Dragoon off of the Albion effect, which is really, really good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This card's insane, by the way. Just, it's crazy how like as we go through sets, you just get cards where like can utilize a card that you thought would never see the light of day again, like Hex Sealed Fusion. I had never heard of this card, nor ever thought about this card ever before in my life. And it's crazy to see that this is now seeing play, and lots of it. I did finally get my second, well, really third Ecclesia, the Virtuous in. My third one's Starlight, but I'm not really going to play with the Starlight. I only really play 2 copies of this anyways, but this is not going to go in the Dimorphia deck. This is actually for when Branded comes out, or when I can get the rest of the Branded cards. I am playing 2 of these in the Branded Despia deck. And you don't have to play them in Branded Despia if you don't want to. But some of the things, like if you were playing the Despia build, you would play probably 3 Tragedy, like 1 Ad Litem, and I don't have it, but also like 1 Dramaturge, and then of course you'd be playing the 3 Aliber. So I do have like a lot of the core already for this. Some of the things that I'm missing would be the Aliber, of course, like the 3 of those. I don't have Branded Opening, so I still need to get that. And I still need, I think I'm going to be playing 2 or possibly 3 Branded Red, but I do have 1. I knew this card was good, but when I was doing testing today to like go over deck profiles, what I didn't realize is like a lot of times, so say you have your, I'll try to make a little bit of room here. I'll go through an example. Say you have your Albion on field, right? And you special summoned it off of your Branded Fusion, and you sent your Hex Sealed Fusion and your Fallen of Ablaz to the graveyard, and attempt to special summon Dragoon. Well, let's say we put Branded Fusion in grave 2 so you don't get confused. So yeah, you use Branded Fusion to go into Albion, okay? And let's say you activate Albion, but he uses Infinite Impermanence, and so now it's negated. Well, if you have Branded in red in hand, it's a quick effect, and what you can do is you can add your, what I do is, it's not this one. So you add your Fallen of Ablaz back to hand, right? You then use the fusion effect. Fusion summon 1 level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extract by banishing the fusion materials listed on it from your hand or field. So from your hand or field, but it cannot attack directly this turn. You basically then can go into Lubion. I might be messing this up, but I'm pretty sure because I did this online earlier and it went fine. Lubellion, and then Lubellion, you can, of course, you have to have a card in hand, but when it's summoned, you can discard 1 card, doesn't matter what it is. And then fusion summon 1 level 8 or lower fusion monster from your extract, except for Lubellion, the Searing Dragon, by shuffling fusion materials mentioned on it from the deck, or into the deck from your monsters on the field, graveyard, or face up banished cards. So you can shuffle your Fallen of Ablaz and then your Light Hex Sealed Fusion and back into your deck, and then you fusion summon your Dragoon. So like the Branded Red is really good, because let me tell you, like right away, if you're trying to use your Albion to go into Dragoon, a lot of the times it's going to get negated, like from testing. But if people see that you're playing branded Despia, they know that this is a thing, and they're going to wait for this to happen, because they definitely don't. I mean, Dragoons on the field, that's game pretty much in a lot of cases. I mean, if you have forbidden droplets or something, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a pretty devastating card to have summoned against you. These are the ultra rare Fallen Ablaz. Like I said, if you don't want to get the secret rares and you want to play a nice hollow version, these are $1.15 online. I think most decks are only playing 2 Fallen Ablaz. If you're doing like a smaller package, you might play 1. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, and I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit real quick, and then we can go ahead and get into some deck profiles that I have online for you. I didn't do that efficiently, to be honest. I kind of don't know why I put those that way. But yeah, let's go ahead and switch cameras, and then we'll go over some deck profiles that I made. Hopefully I still have them up. I think that I have no reason to believe that I would close out of them. Okay, so I only have one open, so we'll go into the other ones. I'll probably have to re-sign in, but whatever. I'm looking real quick. Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna have to go over 3 deck profiles for the different things that I'm looking forward to playing. So this is my Ablaz branded deck profile. This is with, you know, your Despia cards, and then also the branded stuff you get in the structure deck, and then from previous sets. I'm playing 3 Alibur, which right now that would be around $360, which is why I currently am not going to be playing this deck until it gets a rebrand, because that should be like the total cost of this deck, not just the cost of 3 cards. You have your 3 branded fusion, you have your 3 branded opening, you have 3 branded red. I don't know if I'm going to play this at 2 or 3 yet, but for now we're keeping it at 3 just because I've been getting my Albion negated so many times. I need like some sort of follow-up play, or I'm going to end up with nothing. 1 Albion the Shadow Dragon. It's pretty good because its name is also Fallen Ablaz while it's on the field or in the graveyard. It also kind of helps if it's in your hand, you get to special summon it. Or no, if it's going to be in your hand, of course. But if you're the Fallen Ablaz that you're discarding is from your hand, you can special summon this card. You know, get a level 8 dark monster on the field that you can fusion summon or do whatever you want to do. But if you're sending the Fallen Ablaz from your deck, then you can place this card on the bottom of the deck. Then if you place this from your hand, which you most likely are, or the hand or graveyard, never mind. So if this is in your hand and you do that effect, then you get to draw a card too. So it's like if you, I don't know, you could just kind of get Fallen Ablaz to the graveyard, which is good because a lot of times you're banishing Fallen Ablaz or shuffling it back from the graveyard into the deck to fusion summon, which is really good. And then you're also getting to like draw into another card if your hand's bad. So it's pretty good. 1 ad libitum of Despia. Honestly, this card is not really good in anything but a Despia build, like a Despia branded build. Like you can't like use this in any other engines just because it just doesn't make sense. This card's really only good in this deck, but it's okay for this deck. It's a mandatory as a 1, but it's good. 2 Despian Tragedy. You could play 3 if you wanted to and cut the Albion, but to be honest with you, I think 2 is perfectly fine. 3 Forbidden Droplet or 3 Chalice, whatever you want to play. This is not going to be a budget deck whatsoever. But then 2 Fallen Ablaz, 2 Springen's Kid, 1 Branded Condemnation. I feel like it's not called that anymore, though. What is it called? It's called Branded Retribution. I don't know why they haven't updated this yet. That might be getting cut, but yeah, this might get cut, honestly. I'll probably cut it for something else. What I'll do actually is cut this card. I'm going to side these Ghost Bells because these are for mirror matches, and then I'm going to play Cyframe Gear Gamma because you want your Branded Fusion to get off on your opening turn. If they try to hand trap you, Gamma is going to stop that, of course. So that's what we'll do. So let's just go ahead and get rid of this. We'll side this just so like if you're wanting to screenshot this and test it out yourself, it makes more sense, or you're playing the correct version. Not that card. Then driver. Okay, there you go. There's your deck profile. And then 3 edge and chain. This is mainly for, I mean, it works for any of your branded extra deck cards or a lot of your Despia extra deck cards too, but it just, this patchwork is really good for like letting you get into your Guardian Chimera, you know, just getting that polymerization to your hand, but really any of the extra deck cards, like let's say you had ad libitum in hand, you know, you could add edge and chain, which is a dark monster and a poly, and then you can go into, you know, one of your extra deck cards. Moving on, we have 3 fright for patchwork, 2 poly. The reason why you play 2 instead of 1 is because you're playing 3 of these in your deck. So this, if you play it at 1, these become bricks, and you just don't want that to happen. 1 Despia Theater, the branded. This card's decent. It's not great. It's not terrible. 1 Dramaturge. This might get cut over, you know, over time, but we'll see. 1 Hex Sealed Fusion, like all-star card of your deck, really. 2 Incredible Clays of the Virtuous. I just like this card for getting materials, well, for 1 in the graveyard that you can use to fusion summon, but also gives you access to Ablaz if you want a super poly. I don't know. It's just good. It's just a free material if you're going second. And if you brick and you just have this card in your hand, like you can get a light monster, this light monster into your graveyard, and then you get your Fallen Ablaz out. So that way, if you have like, I don't know, like if you can get into like your Albion or like Lubellion, you can use those materials as for something else. So I don't know. I just like it. It might get cut eventually, but I like, even if it's not the most optimum build, I just want to keep it because I just love the way the card looks. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. Next is the Gammas, of course, like we just went over. Just really good because this is going to get, you know, hand trapped a lot, the branded fusion. So having this can stop that for sure. And if you go watch, actually a good example of this is if you go watch Cali Effect's most recent video, or I don't know if it's most recent, but it was today, I think. He does a matchup, him playing branded Despia and his opponent playing like Adventure Prank Kids. And I think he uses the branded fusion and gets ashed, or Ghost Bell or something like that. I can't remember, but sorry. He gammas it and just like ability goes off, and the gamma, it's like if it's on your turn, it becomes 2 resources too. So it's just really good. And this deck can utilize light monsters for fusion summoning. I think it is Masquerade. Yeah, 1 Despia monster plus 1 light or dark monster. So I mean, you can use it for materials as well. But for the extra deck, we got 2 Albion, 1 Titaniclad. Not very good. Might just replace it with something else. It can be a big beat stick. It's not bad, but I have the core cards in here that I want, and that's all that matters. 2 Quartus, 2 Guardian Chimera. I mean, I will say this, from what I can tell, a lot of times you're only going into 1 of these a game, if that. So I wouldn't worry too much about having 2. Like you can get away with 1. Let's just put it that way. 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Starving Venom. This is a super poly target if you side those in, like in a mirror match or something, or just anything else where someone's playing darks. 2 Lubellion, 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. You could really play this at 2, to be honest with you. But you know, it's getting into the really expensive range. 2 Masquerade and 1 Despian Proskinian. This card's really, really good too. And then for the side deck, like these are just generic hand traps that you can play. Ghost Spells in particular are really good for mirror matches. And then Super Poly is good for mirror matches, and then pretty good against really everything. But I really only like playing Super Poly going second, because I would just rather play like, so you're gonna sub these out for these. And this is just better to have going first so that you can protect your plays. All right, I'm gonna make sure, damn it, it's not gonna save because I'm not logged in. Okay, moving on. So that's my branded Despia deck profile for now. It's still a work in process. I mean, I still haven't like played this deck yet, except for like online for a few games. So I don't know that it's the best, but I think it's pretty good from tweaking it. That's pretty decent. Let's see. Next would be Dynamorphia. This is like so I have two Dynamorphia deck profiles. This is one that has a adventure token, but it's also what's that set? I keep wanting to say Pendulum Evolution. I know it's not that, but it's the next set coming out. It's pissing me off that I can't remember what it's called. But it's the next major set coming out. Not set, the next booster set coming out. And I'm not gonna spend time thinking about it because it's just gonna make me more mad that I don't know what it's called. But yeah, this is just like a deck profile before we get that set, and then it's gonna change. But basically I'm playing, we already went over the Dynamorphia deck profile, so none of this really changed, except for I cut that one and just added another Dynamorphia Sonic. And then we're playing the adventure token stuff. This didn't change, we're still playing that. This didn't change. We're playing 3 branded fusion, 2 Fallen of Ablaz, 1 the light hex sealed fusion, and then 1 Alibur, the Jester of Despia, and 1 Despian Tragedy. I don't know why these keep disappearing. Like if you saw in the last deck profile, it was there fine. So I don't know why it's doing this, but it's irritating. 3 Trap Tricks. And then we did the Dynamorphia cards. That doesn't change except for the one that we're getting in the next set. I took that out because obviously I can't play with that right now. So 1 Albion. This didn't change. We're still playing the Evilzor. 1 Dragoon, 1 Lubellion, 2 Masquerade, because why not? Like I have so many extra deck slots I don't need in this deck. 1 Starving Venom for if I just hard open this, whatever. And then 1 Dark and 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Because we don't have the rest, the next extra deck card. We have a lot of slots, so I just kind of threw in whatever. You can throw in whatever after this right here. You can throw in whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You don't really need 2 copies of this. I just threw them in there just in case. That's going to be that. And then next is what the deck profile will look like post the next set, which is all the same Dynamorphia package. That doesn't change. We are playing 3 Extravagance. I'm cutting the adventure token stuff because I feel like at this point we just don't need it. And I would rather just boost consistency. But, at the previous version where we like with the card pool we have currently, you just need a little something extra. So that's the Brave token stuff. Trap Tricks down to 2 because now we have 2 traps. This is what we're getting the new set. We have 2 traps, so 6 total that fusion summon for us. So we don't just have this 1 card. So that's why I cut down from 3 to 2. And then we have the 3 branded fusion, which picture's not showing up again. 2 Fallen of Albaz, 1 Tragedy, 1 Alibur, and then the Gamma package didn't change. And then we have the 1 Hex Seal fusion. And the extra deck is pretty much the same, except for I cut the Super Poly targets. And then we have this new Dynamorphia card, which is Rexterm. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's just if you were wondering if there's a way to play branded in this deck. I know some people have commented that they're building Dynamorphia as well. So just if you're interested, this is going to be decently cheap. When we get the reprint of Alibur, you only need 1 copy though for these decks, because basically it doesn't really matter. You don't want to open Alibur anyways. Like the only reason you have Alibur in this deck is for a target for Tragedy, like when you jump, if you were to dump Tragedy. But really the main branded play you're doing is sending Fallen with Albaz and hex sealed fusion. A lot of times you're not even going to use these cards. These are just extra targets to give you a little bit, how do I say it? A little bit of flexibility with your deck, depending on what situations you go into. You could also side these out if you wanted to, but if you wanted to play the smallest package possible, you really could just play 3 branded fusion, 1 Fallen of Ablaz, 1 hex sealed fusion, and get away with it. But yeah, that's all for that. I think there was some stuff I wanted to go over market watch wise that I noticed had gone up in price. Or we can at least chat. I might have gone over these earlier. I don't remember. What is that card called? It's called Masquerade. I'm just going to search Masquerade because I know that's what it's called. I hate when you're searching from your order history because then it's like impossible for, I don't know, just for whatever reason it doesn't work. Today, Junior. That didn't work, so we're going to have to do it again. Yeah, this is going up. Lowest copy is now $17. 25 listings left. All the core TCG is gone. Branded opening also not going to be cheap, to be honest, and this won't get reprinted until the Mega 10s. This is now $12 a copy. We'll look up hex sealed too to see if it's changed from earlier. I mean, we're getting to the point with like this Despia stuff that is changing like minute to minute. Of course, you have to do filters on this one. Basically the same spot it was earlier. Dragoon, we'll look at that as well. A lot of people might not know that they're going to have to pick this card up yet, but if you're playing branded, you have to for sure. I picked up my copy earlier because like I said, I signed up for the subscription purely because I was buying this card and I got $11 back. Yeah, I made the right call. I got it for 106 this morning and it's at 120. Yeah, I made the right call. Going up to 125. Geesh. Let's see what Verte is going for. Should be going down, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it will go up over this year. Like I told you to pick these up, but more so when they were like $8. But I wouldn't think that this would be getting bought up right now because you don't need this card. We'll see what the ultra rares are going for. Around 20, it looks like. 18 to 20. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We'll look at Ecclesia. I don't think you don't really need to play Ecclesia. A lot of people aren't playing this card. Internal error. Let's check in on the subscriber count because I might go ahead and announce the giveaway. We're at 101. So now we can officially do the giveaway. Sweet. So if you paid attention this far in, hopefully you did. Like I said in the last video where I announced what we'd be giving away, we're doing a Ghost Mourner, or Black Awakening, Ghost Mourner. I don't know why it's so hard to do this backwards. Regeki, Cursed Eldland, Old Art Eldlik, and a Golden Trishula. They're all gold, but that's what we're doing. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later this weekend. Bye.